What's up, everybody? It's Joneser, your favorite comic book guy.
Let's do this.
All right, I am Joneser, and this is the Mo2 Joneser channel. And if you've always wondered what Mo2 stands for, it stands for Masters of the Universe. And if you are a fan of Masters of the Universe, I suggest you subscribe to the channel. And there's plenty of other Masters of the Universe content. We do the vintage figures, origin figures, Masterverse figures, we comic books, all kinds of fun stuff is to be had. So anyway, here we've got something really special today. We've got the 40th anniversary 2-pack of the Masterverse, HeMan, and Skeletor. I can't wait to open this. Well, all right, I'm down here in the Joneser basement, the Joneser dungeon, and what you got here is the front of this box, and this is just the mailer box. So this thing came to me in the mail in a box, and then there's a box in a box, and then there's a box inside this box, if that makes sense. Now, if you don't know what this is the Mattel Creations exclusive 2-pack. So we're going to open her up here, but I just thought we'd enjoy this nice little artwork here. And I'm going to put y'all down for a second here. We're going to flip this bad boy around, because on the back of this thing, I mean, look at that. That is just cool. Well, okay, now we have slid the box out of the box, and we have the box. And if you just check this thing out here, it looks like, a medieval castle door. It's got a cool little coat of arms on the front there. And I'm going to lay this bad boy down here, and we're going to see if we can do the overhead view. Oh, this is awesome. Now we're going to open this guy up. Let's see here. Oh, Nelly. Look at that awesomeness. The mightiest battle in the universe. HeMan, the most powerful man in the universe, versus Skeletor, the evil lord of destruction. Oh, boy. Well, as you can see here, the figures are packaged really nicely, and we got this cool little red tab here. So we're going to go ahead and pull it up, and oh, look at the goodies that we have in here. We have got HeMan with his accessories, all die-cast weapons, and we've got Skeletor. We got a couple extra hands. We got the classic mini comics. So I'm going to get this stuff out of the package here, but I just thought you guys could enjoy how it is presented. This is a really cool pack, and I'll have to just say that it makes me feel kind of special to have this, and it's a great way to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Masters of the Universe with this, just really neat package. All right, here they are out of the package. And I'm really, really impressed with this set. So we'll start off with the mini comic here. This is the original HeMan mini comic, the HeMan and the Power Sword. And, if we flip this baby open, you can see the nice and glossy artwork. There's a cool little picture of HeMan in honor of Mark Taylor. That's very cool. And we're not going to read the whole story or anything like that. I just want to kind of flip through, and, you can kind of see HeMan crawls out of the jungle, and, villains are introduced. Skeletor is introduced. Man-at-Arms is introduced. Very, very cool. That's an iconic image right there. Oh, and there's a neat little picture of Skeletor in honor of Mark Taylor. Very awesome. And then in the other mini comic, we have the King of Castle Grayskull, where again these are recreations of the original mini comics that HeMan and the Masters of the Universe came with originally. A lot of people don't know, before the Filmation show that we all know and love. The original He-Man, oh, that's really cool. The original He-Man story was told through these mini comics, and the story was very different than the one we got in the Filmation show. Well, and the other little accessory outside of these figures that this thing comes with is this little power ring of invincibility. With this is a kind of an homage back to the ring that came with Triclops or Trapjaw in the original toys. This thing is definitely too small to fit my fingers, and I have dainty little fingers, so there's no way it would fit most adults. If it wasn't for the hair on the knuckles, you would swear this is a girl's hand. But anyway, thing flips open here, and oh, that's pretty cool. You can get the glowing red eyes. Ooh, very cool. Anyway, we will start off with the most powerful man in the universe, He-Man. And this figure very much looks like his vintage brother, I'd have to say. I mean, this takes me right back to the childhood. He comes, you know, in his iconic look. The trunks are flocked, so they're nice and fuzzy, and the tops of the boots are flocked, so they are fuzzy as well. And the weapons here are die-cast metal, so they have some weight to them. And these are not plastic, you know, cheaply made. These are really, really cool. He comes with an additional hand, probably for him to carry the shield or to slap his enemies. And a fist so he could punch you right into your living room. Kapow! And of course the iconic shield, you know, all die cast, looking good. And on the back here we've got a sheath where we can stick the Sword of Power. And we'll get him into some iconic poses later here, but let's check out this Skeletor. So then we've got the evil Lord of Destruction, Skeletor, and he comes with an articulated jaw. That is a cool feature. Oh, let's see if we can get it back up. Ooh, I want to be careful. I don't want to break it. Just got this bad boy. So you might need a little finagling to get that jaw work in place. It doesn't seem to want to stay up, but that's okay. I kind of like them with it open anyway. And man, that's a really cool looking Skeletor figure. And again, his sword is die cast metal, and the staff here is plastic for the most part outside of this ram's head, but the rest of it's plastic. And I'm thinking they probably did that to keep the weight down so the character would be able to pose weapon in hand, which we will definitely be doing here in a bit. And Skeletor also comes with an additional clawed hand so he could scratch his enemy's eyes out, and a fist hand so he could punch you. So let's get these guys in some poses. Oh, and check them out. There is He-Man. Just looking great. You know, as an old mini comic version of He-Man, you know, he was more prone to use the axe in battle in the original stories, and the power sword really wasn't, you know, a vehicle for him to turn from Adam to He-Man. In fact, there was no Adam in the original version. The power sword was just the key to gaining entry to Castle Grayskull. And so, very different show or idea back then. By the power of Grayskull! That is right. So that is how a lot of us fans remember He-Man and his iconic I have the power pose that you can very easily get him into with this new figure. The action here on his wrist has the ability to hold the sword up and down there. And one thing I forgot to point out is the the body is much more muscular than figures that have came out before. So we will definitely be taking a look at that. And then just one more pose here with He-Man in his I have the power moment, which, again, I just think this is a really cool version of He-Man. And if you like this and you'd like to pick it up at retail, they seem to be found aplenty at Target, the 40th anniversary He-Man. So you can get him at retail, only the weapons will not be die cast like this exclusive, and the trunks and boots will not be flocked. But I still think that this will more or less check all the same boxes as this one does. And here we have our Lord of Destruction, Skeletor, just looking awesome. And as you can see, he looks in his most iconic, with the Havoc staff there. He's got the skirt, the armor. Classic Skeletor. This is just too cool. And just like He-Man, Skeletor has this sheath in the back where you can slide his version of the Sword of Power right into the back. Well, and there's Skeletor with his sword up, ready for battle, and he's got his hand out like with a come and get me type kind of pose. And as you can see with a little playing with it, you can get the jaw to shut, which you just need to work it a little bit. And yeah, this guy is neato torpedo. I love the different colors here on the armor. And, we got the monster feet going on there. And, I mean, this guy just really looks like the vintage. So, speaking of which, we're going to do some comparisons here in a bit. And we will compare these guys to their vintage counterparts. All right, there is He-Man. And I would like to introduce him to He-Man. And I would have to say they look pretty close. This really is the modern He-Man figure meet the retro He-Man figure. And, like the retro one, he doesn't have much for points of articulation, just in the shoulders, the head. I wouldn't even count the legs. You can't really do nothing with them, but you do have that iconic whap power punch. And this modern He-Man, you can get them in a little bit of that squat those Masters of the Universe figures were known for. But, look at all these different points of articulation where, you could really just, if you have something that you imagine you want He-Man to do, he's got it. He's got you covered. So let's take a look at Skeletor. Well, and here we have our modern Skeletor figure. Meet my vintage Skeletor figure. And again, I feel like we have achieved what we set out to achieve. This thing looks just like his vintage counterpart for the most part. And what a great classic figure this Skeletor is. Even as a kid, the first time I saw this thing, I just knew this is the face of evil. But yeah, this one, has, again, all the same modern day articulations that you could hope to have with a modern day action figure. And yeah, there is our guy. There is Skeletor. Now, if you like this Skeletor figure, the one problem that we've got here at this point is this guy is not available at retail. He is only available in this exclusive 2-pack. So if you want them as it sits, yeah, we're talking secondary market and markup, but I have a sneaky feeling that this guy's going to make his way to retail because this is just way too cool of a Skeletor action figure, not for them to not do that. So I think if you want to get your hands on this guy, you're probably going to have to be a little patient, and he might not have, the die-cast weapons and the articulating jaw. But I do think that you will see this guy in stores near you. Well, all right. I'd have to say, wrapping this video up, these figures check all the boxes for me. I mean, this was my first Mattel Creations set that I actually tried to order, and I succeeded the first time out. I've heard a lot of people have horror stories about getting these exclusives. And yeah, these figures, they just check all the boxes for me. They remind me very much of their vintage counterparts, and I'm just very happy to have this. So, He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.